Let's do it.
And we're back. And we're
We
back.
are back.
Hey. All right, so let's move on, man. This discussion has been passionate, it's been beautiful. Let's move on to talk about match of the week. What have you seen, Josh? Because I know you were getting your nails done, you were getting a pedi over the weekend, massages and all stuff. So what have you seen, man?
Been pampering, mate. Been pampering. Been gymming it, been pampering, been beering it up. So there's going to be no secrets. I haven't watched an awful lot. But what I am going to give as my match of the week this week is it's purely, and I'll just touch on the reasons as to why I do this. If I've had a hard time, or if I've had a good time, my way of switching off and transferring from a bad time to a good time, from a good time to a bad time, is restarting. And I find the middle ground is professional wrestling.
Oh man.
So yesterday, after a long drive home, and I cannot begin to tell you how long and hot the drive home was. Traffic in this country is horrendous. I travel up and down the country so many times, so many miles, but 5-hour journeys are not fun. So when I got home from pampering sessions,
Spas.
I decided, yes, Queen. I decided to rewatch Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley from WrestleMania 39 back in April. It's the third time I've revisited that match. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's again. Oh, I'm going to sound like a broken record. It is one of my favorite women's wrestling matches of all time. I think the storytelling, the commentary that goes with that, to me is just phenomenal. So for me, because I've not watched an awful lot or given enough commitment and time to give something else match of the week, it is Charlotte versus Rhea, but a close second is Masha versus Killer Kelly from Against All Odds. I would love to put a certain four-way match in there, but I haven't given it the time. I flicked through it. Maybe we can ask me again next week what my match of last week was, and I can change my mind. But
that's
for
fair
this week,
enough, man. That's fair enough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I want to say the match you are referring to is my match of the week, but it's not. But yeah, that's a surprise because I'm a massive fan of the person that won it. You're like, and it's actually the only match that I'm generally looking forward to this week in wrestling. Is versus Toni Storm versus Skye Blue. That match was good, but I'm going to be very honest. Within about 2.5 minutes, I said to my wife, Skye Blue's won this. All right. Because she went in the ring and she was hot as hell. Hot against wrestlers that she shouldn't be hot against. She was going up against Mercedes and Nyla. Like, it was easy. Even though Nyla, she was taking a good beating as well. Okay. And that's what was good about it. And Britt was there, here, there, and everywhere. They were talking about her possibly having a little bit of a back niggle. And I kind of thought it was very predictable what was going to happen. But Toni Storm's #1 competitor she wanted in the scrum after Double or Nothing was Skye Blue. So, and we also know that Ruby Riott, Saraya, and all that love Skye Blue, and they do quite a lot with Skye Blue anyway. So it was a natural match. I think you're going to see Skye Blue going for that TBS title very, very soon. I said earlier on, I think Skye Blue will probably go permanently up in the next couple of months to AEW because her talent is up there, okay, compared to a lot of other wrestlers that I would like to see in that thing. So the match I'm looking forward to this week, not my match of the week, is Toni Storm. One of, I would say, the most underrated wrestlers that shouldn't be underrated in pro wrestling because she's got such a beautiful CV. And her TNA, her NXT run was remarkable.
Yeah,
I mean,
NXT UK, NXT UK champion, first ever, I think.
First ever, yeah. First ever.
Yeah, and she dropped it to Rhea, didn't she?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, she did. And I think that was and so that match is going to be good. But my match of the week is Willow Nightingale versus Rachel Ellering. Okay. Now
I did get the memo.
Oh, did I just post it everywhere?
It's like I forgot that you messaged me. You slid into the DMs.
All right. And I want to tell you why. Willow Nightingale's character is very similar to Bailey's. Okay, back in the day, NXT, early WWE, when she got put up to the big brands. Very similar in the sense of she's just happy to be there. She's happy to compete. She's smiley, she's cheery, she's bubbly. She's a mark. All right. But we've seen her have a psychotic turn in the middle of the ring where then she's like, well, I also want to beat the crap out of all of you. Now, Rachel Ellering, she couldn't do that too. Now, Rachel Ellering, if you don't know who Rachel Ellering is, just look at her. She's a second generation wrestler. She's the former Impact Tag Team title holder with my girl Grace, Jordan Grace. Okay, she is a power lifter. So Willow's power versus Rachel's was never going to work. Was never going to work. So she had to start wrestling smart, not wrestling physical. And that match just was incredible. If anybody on here hasn't watched it, get the Ring of Honor app. And actually, we are going to, towards the end of this conversation, quickly talk about subscriptions because it's my number one DM message from everybody in the wrestling world currently. Okay. Because that match alone makes that $7.99 worth the while. Okay. And that's what Ring of Honor can offer you. I mean, look, there was Bert Vixen versus Martinez, amazing match. Another one of my personal favorites, Robin Renegade, was on there. So we had 3 women's matches on there. We sometimes have 4 when Sky's on there. But that Willow Nightingale proved herself in this New Japan Pro Strong title match. So that match got my wrestling match of the week. But yeah, that's all I can say on it. It's an exciting match. It's well worth. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I've got list after list. I want to say Chris Statlander versus Anna Jay. But out of all the matches, that match, that Chris Statlander versus Anna Jay, I think that just proves how good Anna Jay is. We've said this before. She is no longer a girl, as Britney Spears would have said back in the day. All right. Do you know what I mean? She is a woman and she can prove herself and she can fight against the high quality people. And that is what them kind of matches are about. We've got to remember Anna Jay started as a Zatanna, okay, sort of like gimmicky DC Comics. You'll know who that is, the one that dressed as a magician, okay. And she also had 2 major losses in her first 2 matches. Do you remember who they are? Her first 2 matches? Britt Baker,
No.
Okay, got beaten the crap out of squash match. Okay, Abaddon got beaten crap out of a squash match. Abaddon's another person that I'd like to talk about at some point because for me, she's unused and should be used far more. But Anna Jay has come from that to having actually Jim Ross here, barn burners of a match, okay, and Chris Statlander and her worked brilliantly together. That's a very close second for me of my week.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I think they're both really, really good matches, and I think this kind of winds us into what I wanted to finish this conversation with you this week is wrestling subscriptions, and it's kind of a question that has been asked me by 10 people in the last 3 weeks. 10. All of these people. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've recently had to cut things, okay, because I'm watching too much in the sense of, and I'm not using enough. And I think my perspective recently is I've had to keep to a few paid promotions because there's 2 promotions I watch: Major League Wrestling, you can watch on YouTube. NWA, you can watch on YouTube, and Fight TV and whatever. And I watch them weekly, but you don't have to pay from there on YouTube. But Ring of Honor, AEW, and Impact are my 3 core wrestling shows. BT Sports, I've got that as well, so I can watch WWE if I wanted to. But I think a lot of people are talking about this element of there is too much to watch now. So what do I watch? Does that make sense to you?
Massively, massively.
And yeah.
I was just going to say how hard it is, and it's time consuming.
Yeah.
You know, when we go to work, 8-9 hours a day, we're out of the home for 10 hours. It gives us 4 hours of an evening when we get home to have our dinner, settle our kids down, do what we need to do, to find time to watch wrestling every single day because there's shows every single day to watch.
There is now, man. There is now, yeah.
It's not possible. So you have to make your selections. I'm like you, WWE, AEW, New Japan,
Yeah.
because I think people forget when the Best of the Super Juniors hits, G1 Climax is soon, the World Tag League. That's wrestling almost every day, almost every day.
There is.
3 months of the year. And then you've got your Saturday morning pay-per-views. So that's taken that time. You know, we've just got so much on. Like you said, the NWO is all available on YouTube. MLW, it's all available on YouTube. There is a lot to do. So if I was giving anyone advice who's new to it or is always looking for something new, find what fits you.
Yeah.
Find your style. Find who you look up to. If you're an aspiring wrestler, go big. I would go big and then go low. Forget the in between.
Yeah.
Forget your NXT. Forget your Ring of Honor. Excuse me, but go big.
Yeah.
WWE, AEW, and then go really low, and then you can take a guess as to what that middle level may be. If you're an aspiring wrestler, if you're just a mark like me, go with whatever you want to go with. Go and watch your favorites because that's what I do. The reason I watch the product is because I've grown over years to have favorites and people that I love and that I'm passionate about. And I don't care where they wrestle. As long as they're on my TV every single week, I'm as happy as Larry, and I don't even know who Larry is.
That was see, my suggestion was to a lot of people. So somebody went to me about, I want to watch this, this, and this. And I said, look, what's your number one show? Because despite what we say, we all have a show that we turn to more than any other show. And they said AEW. And my direct thing was, have you tried Ring of Honor? And I said, the reason why is because all the faces you will recognize. Okay. But it was the same I said with WWE. Sort of like I said, if you watch WWE and you want to watch something that's a bit more different or whatever, have you tried to stay up a bit on a Tuesday night to watch NXT or Wednesday morning or whatever time it is? And I think that's the thing. You've got to find what's right for you, is because, as I said to you at the beginning, wrestling's about genre. Okay. And each wrestling show has a different genre. It's like, as I said a second ago, Impact Wrestling is a storytelling promotion. It will tell you an amazing story and bring it to the ring. AEW, I kind of sit on the fence of, they're probably more a wrestling show, or wrestling as the American, in that sense. They want to be more like that. They want to hit the hard hitting New Japan sort of like element, or even the old school Ring of Honor elements and stuff like that. And then you've got WWE, and WWE is the prime example of what you call TV wrestling. Right? It is an entertainment. It is like watching Die Hard in that format. And depends what element you like, depends what fits you. See, I'm not going to lie. You ask me what I like in pro wrestling. I'm a storytelling guy. I want you to tell me a story, and then I want you to beat the crap out of each other. Do you know what I mean?
That's WWE at this point in time.
Yeah.
I think if you skip 2 or 3 episodes of Raw or SmackDown with a certain storyline which is going on, you're going to miss key elements to this story. Now, if you just want to tune in every single week and watch wrestling, you've got AEW for that, because the storytelling is not the best. They've gradually put in these promos every single week.
They're young, man. They're young.
Yeah, it's predominantly wrestling. We know the card each and every single week for AEW, the Dynamite. We know it. So we know, okay, I'll tune into that. But to be honest with you, that's the show. If I miss it, I'll come back to it, or I'll watch it in drips. Okay. With WWE, you might get 3 match announcements for Raw and a segment.
Yeah.
The rest of it, who knows? Who knows? So yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right with everything you're saying.
It's just about genre, and I think that's the important thing to remember. Not every boot fits everybody when it comes to pro wrestling, and I think that's what's got to be important with the subscriptions as well, because Fight TV doesn't offer you absolutely everything you want. Yeah, it offers you GCW, and don't worry, I like GCW. I enjoy watching GCW when I have. It's kind of on the bottom of my list when I come through stuff. So I'll watch it when I've got about 20 minutes, or I've got 3 hours spare, which is never. But when I have time to do that, and I think that's what's got to be remembered. So yeah. That's the advice I would give you. If you've got a genre of wrestling that you like, or if you're a new wrestler, okay, and you want easy watching, what that's the question, I think, actually. If we've talked about the people that are marks fundamentally, but if you're sitting here now, Josh, and you're trying to convince me what show to watch as a new wrestling fan, Where do you go, man? Where do you go? What's good? What do you think's the best starting point for a new wrestler? Let's just use that example. You're talking to a 15-year-old and wants to start watching wrestling, but doesn't have any idea who Andre the Giant is, or Hulk Hogan, or Steve Austin, or John Moxley. Where's their starting place? Now that's the question.
I'm going to send you down the route of AEW. Honestly, it's available to watch free ITV.
Yeah.
On a Friday night, so you just have to wait a couple of days if you can't afford it for a start. You've got wrestling matches throughout the night. You've got the cool factor to it. You get your spots, get something that will grip you, and then you'll get a taste for more, and then you'll learn what fan you are, I think. But when I was young, we didn't always have that. We had one product, two products, and it was a choice between the two, wasn't it?
It was, man, because you look at me. I talked about this in Scalzi Talks the other day. Okay, cheap plug, sorry. But I was talking about it the other day in Scalzi Talks. I'm of that generation, and you are as well. When Cartoon Network cut off at 7 o'clock at night, it went straight onto TNT. And then what did we have to do? We watched WCW straight after that. Okay, and and it was a week late. It was always a week late. So you'd get the sort of like wrestling mags come out or whatever, and you're like, well, I don't know that's happened yet. Okay, and that's the big thing. This is my big concept at the minute. This wrestling generation, I'm not acting like an old man here, and I sound like I am, has so much choice. Okay, when our generation went for either WWE or WWF or WCW, and if you were lucky that you had a cousin that could get the VHSs from America, or a dodgy bastard, all right, like I did, all right, okay, you could watch ECW, and then ECW eventually came on our televisions. So it's a hard one, mate. It's a hard one. But for me, I would probably do the same as you. I would go with AEW because it is wrestling. It is wrestling. You don't have to worry about the storylines. If you haven't got the time, you can dip in and out of it. And you can guarantee with AEW that 1 out of the 6 matches is going to be a barn burner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head, my friend.
So listen, guys, subscriptions, work out what you like. Okay, first of all, then start subscribing. All right, newbies, go with AEW, ITV. Okay, and if you want to pay $4.99, there's Fight TV Plus too. And that, to be fair, Fight TV Plus, you get a lot of wrestling and some awful boxing, but it's all good, man.
There's some bad on that, but there's some good. But take our advice, kids. We know what we're talking about, right?
We sort of do. Yeah, we know what I mean. Let's just let's finish this off with housekeeping, man. What's next for this platform that we use?
We're gonna make the channel, the brand. We're gonna have some mental health discussions, potentially some advice, things that have been picked up, notably from myself over the years. So keep your eyes peeled on mental health discussions, aspects to this. I think we're planning on hitting over Twitch at some point, so we may look at the new AEW Fight Forever game, some streaming potentially, who knows. But yeah, just watch this space. There's lots happening. What
we're trying to do is we're trying to get me and Josh work well together, but we're different guys. Okay, we're very different, all right, in a lot of ways. We're trying to get a bit of us both into this, and this is going to be good, mate. So head over to our YouTube. What's the new name?
Yeah.
Let me talk to you. Do you know what always comes to my head when he does that is not LA Knight, it's Eli.
Drake.
Love it, mate. Love it.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. But listen, guys, thank you for listening. And me and Josh appreciate anybody that gives us even 30 seconds, all right, of this. So thank you very much and peace out.
Peace.